Galnet News Digest, 23rd of February 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we review updates from the war, and Aegis calls for help developing tools to allow us to penetrate the Thargoid maelstroms. It's been nearly 3 months since the Tyrannus maelstrom thudded into place, and a raft of systems were taken over by Thargoids. Over the following 2 weeks, 7 more maelstroms were established, and now the Thargoids control more than 850 systems in or near the bubble. We are fighting them back, but for now they continue to advance. Nearly 1 in 20 of the systems in the bubble is now under Thargoid control, although of course many of these systems were never inhabited by humans. We've managed to liberate more than 60 systems from the Thargoids, and 25 more are in recovery, but that's dwarfed by the speed of the Thargoid advance. Separately, Thargoids have started getting much more aggressive in the California and Witchhead nebulae. The Pleiades and Coalsack nebulas remain quiet for now, despite a large Thargoid presence. All of these nebulas have large numbers of Thargoid barnacles, the biomechanical pumps that create meta-alloys, and it seems likely that the Thargoids want to retain control of those barnacles. But that doesn't explain why they're attacking the bubble. Is it simple retaliation for Salvation's attempt to commit genocide? With the recent re-establishment of Aegis, with Azimuth's weapon stabilisers that allow up to 6 anti-Xeno weapons to be mounted on a ship, with Liz Ryder and Zachariah Nemo's incremental improvements to the old Aegis missile launchers and multi-cannon, with Professor Palin's improved long-range Xeno scanner, and with the promise of new technology to allow us to enter the Thargoid maelstroms and take the battle to the command centres of the war, there is some cause for hope. But even if Aegis can work technological miracles, there will be no quick fix. The Thargoid invasion will last for months, probably years. We must remain focused on protecting our homelands, while Aegis researches both the Thargoid technologies and their motivations. Aidan Tanner survived his test flight into the Maelstrom with the experimental caustic sink launcher, and Aegis now wants to put the launcher into full-scale production, but they need your help to do it. What's more, the commanders who help the most will be granted early access to the new technology. The idea of the caustic sink is to suck up all the caustic nastiness the Thargoids squirt at your ship and spit it out into space, leaving your ship spotless. It's a bit like a cross between a decontamination limpet and a heat sink launcher, and the idea is that it will allow us to explore inside the maelstroms, do science, and perhaps discover more about what the maelstroms are and how they work. Designed by Colonia engineer Petra Olmanova, working to a commission from Aegis, these new devices have caused excitement in the Xeno research community. But Aegis can only manufacture the caustic sink launchers if they're supported by the galactic community. There's an easy way to help, and a not so easy way. The easy way is to source and supply advanced catalyzers, heatsink interlinks, and palladium to the Aegis core megaship Orunmila in the Duampta system. The hard way is to venture into the maelstroms to gather caustic tissue samples from the caustic generators that can be found within. Without the benefit of caustic sinks, this is an extremely hazardous activity, and Aegis has urged caution while saying that these tissue samples are fundamental to the programme. As a way of saying thank you to those who commit to helping, if the goals are met, up to the top 50% of participants will be gifted a caustic sink launcher before they go on general sale, with the top 25% of participants potentially eligible to earn 2 of the launchers. It seems that with this new product fast-tracked to the point of mass production, Aegis, once abandoned by commanders and the superpowers in favour of Azimuth, has instantly justified its reinstated position in Xeno research and defence. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
Are you thinking of suing over missold Python protection insurance? Had an accident in an airlock or slipped in a space station cargo bay and thinking of suing for compensation? Well, don't.
I tried to take my ship commander to court for making fertiliser out of my crewmates. Legal fees have left me with nothing, and now I'm hungry. All the time.
At Watt & Brittany we take small print very seriously. We have a massive team of lawyers just waiting to block your case and ramp up your legal costs.
I wanted a simple, no-win, no-fee arrangement. My case got blown out of the water by Watt & Brittany, and now I have to rent out my arse for hydrogen fuel.
At Watt & Brittany we have a saying, if you don't want a beating, stay out of our court.
I was savaged by a wild creature whilst fixing a vending machine. Can't I claim compensation?
No, you can't, because we have a massive team of lawyers and you're just someone who works for a living. Watt & Brittany. Don't even think about it.
From the makers of the MB5 shaving drone comes the latest in personal grooming technology. Here at Saracen, we've heard your request loud and clear. You want something new. Applying all the recent technological advances. Introducing the Panther Clipper. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. A shave so smooth it'll shave 10 milliseconds off your buckyball time. The new Panther Clipper from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for.
Out there's a ship just for you. A ship that can carry you to the furthest stars, jumping long distances whilst offering an unobstructed view of the galaxy. A ship that can also pack a decent punch if the pirates come knocking. A ship that feels safe. A ship that feels like home. The Asp Explorer. A great ship at a great price in a competitive galaxy. Fly far. Fly safe. Fly in front of things.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. Wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman. Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
Lave radio. It's even louder than me. Hey, wait a minute. That can't be right.
Brave ships and brave folk from centuries ago strive to find more in the night. Before they could jump, before space got small, the only way there was to take your time, take a generation, build a shrine to your generation, make your way between the stars, and hope that your children will care for your soul. Achilles was lost to those dangerous computers. Artemis just had one sight. Atlas abandoned except for one poor soul. Demeter turned tribal with no food and cannibal. The fighting kept on till they died. Epimetheus had a thief left alone. His writings recorded as proof. Hyperion had its own second to your generation. Make your way between the stars. Hope that your children will care for your soul.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous,
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from the current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 431 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite, the fantastic community that surrounds it as well. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Defier, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, and joining me in the orange Sidewinder for this rather spacious bar, we have our apprentice stunt driver, Commander Alec Turner.
Good evening. I don't want to be obtuse, but it's acutely equilateral to be here tonight.
Oh my god, maths jokes already. Right.
Triangles.
And for that, I'll have to call in the head of health and safety. I think that is emotional abuse, isn't it? Ben Mosswood, otherwise known as Commander Edelweiss.
I don't know, it sounds like a HR problem to me.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'll hand that over to the staff liaison officer, Commander Psychic.
Ultimately, if we have any triangle talk today, heads will fucking roll.
Unlike the triangles.
I like the triangles because they have corners, which was what Alec was talking about. That was where the joke was there, Colin.
And of course, I'm very good at
we did get that.
Anyway, if you wish, you can join us live. We're hanging out in game somewhere, Ben, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. So Chris and I are in the G system, or G system, or however the hell you want to pronounce it. Maybe it's
My
a
favorite
gay.
system.
Maybe, I don't know, might be a gay, I don't know. Because we're thinking about doing some things based on what Tom was talking about on Thursday. So spoilers for future content.
Gotcha, because G is the system which I've hung out in for the last month or so, and to see it suddenly into Thargoid Alert, I'm a little bit,
Worried? Yes?
Yeah, yes, considering that there's only a few chevrons there. So yeah, if you can get to his game, you can always join us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, or on twitch.tv/laveradio, or on going to Facebook or going to Twitter. You'll find us there under Lave Radio. So let's have. Oh, first thing I should mention before we do, we are running Twitch drops tonight, so we have our partner drops running. So hopefully, you carry on watching us, you will get some nice shipskins. So enjoy. So let's quickly go around the crew and see what they've been up to, and we'll start with Commander Alec Turner.
Good evening. Hello. What have I went to. We went to Wisley on Friday. RHS Wisley, who have a fantastic display in their greenhouse. It's called, what's it called? Something like the underwater houseplant takeover or something. But they've turned their whole greenhouse into like it's meant to be sort of underwater. So lots of underwater ambient sounds and lights, and then they've modelled all the plants into fish, and it's really good. And in game, I I drove around a planet this week, got a bit bored, and then as has happened twice now, Reenie from the Burr Pit posted some video of a planet. I think it was in the background of their Witch Space news. And I just thought, I have to drive around that. It's like it's a little potato moon, but it orbits. Its parent body is a planet with rings, and it orbits very close to that. And the parent body also has a binary twin. So from the planet surface that I drove around, you have nearly always two bodies in the sky at any one time. So there's either rings in the sky, or there's the parent planet in the sky, or the parent planet's twin is in the sky, or the star. The view is amazing as you drive around it. But what was really interesting is when you're driving long distance, say you're crossing a big crater and you're going up the far side of the crater, from the perspective of being in the SRV, you're sort of still driving level when you're actually driving uphill. Because of the scale, you sort of forget that you're driving uphill, if you know, and you notice it because you start to slow down. And what was really interesting circumnavigating this potato planet moon was there were times when I was slowing down and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going wrong at first. But literally, because of the odd shape of the planet, there are times when the entire planet's surface is uphill. And other times when the entire surface is downhill.
Is it uphill both ways?
Yeah, I need to turn around and go back the other way, don't I? But do you know what I mean? It's fascinating. I hadn't occurred to me that little potato moons would work like that, but gravity works such that you can feel this sense of traveling uphill when you're going around the uneven shape of it. Yeah, good little journey.
Oh, yeah. Well, unfortunately, last time I went for a long, tried to match you on that one, I ended up feeling very motion sick. I'm not going to be doing that again. Not in VR, anyway. Moving on, we'll annoy Commander Psykit.
Hi, how you doing? Long time listener, first time talker. How's it going? You guys all right?
I appear to be.
Excellent. What have I been up to this week? Lots and lots of prep for Game Blast. We did elite stuff, and then I spent all weekend finalizing, prepping, and doing all nonsense for the Dungeons and Dragons Battle Royale that we did on Sunday, which was ridiculous and incredible, and the amount of natural 20s that were rolled on death saves was obnoxious at best. But it was wild and made a completely different game, and we raised 835 quid and 69 pence, very important, for special effect. And it was a fun time was had by all, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm knackered now.
Lovely.
That's about it.
Yeah, a lot of effort put in there. Well done.
Well, it deserved it. Special Effect. If you don't know who Special Effect are, dear listeners, I know you guys do, but if you don't know who Special Effect are, they're an amazing charity that promote accessibility in gaming and give everybody, if anybody reaches out to them who's struggling with their accessibility, Special Effect look for solutions to enable people to game, because everybody should be able to have that release of gaming. Especially, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the world is really shit, and it's just wonderful to have that release, and they're an amazing charity. So if you haven't before, check them out. I love them a lot.
Yes, they are a fantastic charity, and I think most of the events that we've had, they've always had a representative from Special Effects turn up and show up some of the actually quite ingenious technology that they've shown that they've developed for people to start playing games. So yeah. Okay, that leaves Ben, I guess.
Yeah, my week was busy with family stuff. I guess the most exciting highlight of my weekend, my week, was going to see Ant-Man with the kids. And I know some folk are panning it, but I want to go out on a limb and say that I really enjoyed Ant-Man. I understand why some folk are moaning, but I think they're just people who like to moan anyway. I really enjoyed it. My kids really enjoyed it. And then when we got home, my middle son and I both went off and watched every episode of Loki as well, because you kind of have to watch Loki after watching Ant-Man, I feel. And so did he, apparently.
Especially because they've got the same villain.
Well, what was really funny was, you've got Jonathan Majors, he's in Ant-Man and Ant-Man Quantumania, and he's Creed. And of course he's going to be in the next big Avengers film. And he's Kang, and he's Kang, and he's Kang, and he's Kang. And he's also Kang. I think he's Kang. So, and he's a brilliant bloody actor in general. So, I loved what he did with Loki, and what was done, what he did in Ant-Man, I thought was really good as well. And I've seen him in Creed, and I've enjoyed him in that as well. So yeah, fair play to the guy. He's having a busy year.
Yeah, it sounds it. I mean, the new Creed movie's out soon, isn't it?
It's out right now.
Oh, right. I knew there was one. I was aware of it. I didn't know whether it was out or whatever. Yeah, just quickly, what I've been up to. I've been defending Guy. I think there should be a player faction called the Knights who like to say Guy, but
the Knights of Guy.
The Knights of Guy, but unfortunately, don't seem to be doing very well. Mostly because I haven't been around that much, because up north in Scotland is doing family stuff as per usual. So that's been my week. Yes. So development news. What have the devs been saying this week? Well, we've had quite a lot, really, because we've had Frameshift Live number 26 happened last Thursday, where we had Arf and Sally doing some presentations. We got a very nice shout out for those of you who have already seen from Arf and Sally as well. So that was for the 10th birthday. Did I mention that we were 10?
You might have mentioned it once or twice.
Once or twice. Yes. And they had Tom Cool on talking about Thargoid War scenarios, which I guess I can open that up now. What Tom was saying, was that helpful for people? Because I know that other podcasts have mentioned it.
Define helpful, I guess.
Go on.
I thought it was. Well, I was going to say, I think it was an interesting insight for. I mean, this is what Loose Screws touched on, but for those that have, I don't want to say lost sight of things, because play the game your own way and all that, but it's very easy to play Elite Dangerous, particularly when you've been around a long time, very focused on what it is you want. So I want to encounter 3 Medusas, and you just hit the thing that you again and again and again that you expect to spawn 3 Medusas, and it doesn't, and you get annoyed, or a mission says go kill 5 whatevers and you can't find them and you get annoyed. And what I thought what Tom was saying was interesting was it reminded us about the way the game is built, sort of from the inside out. It's meant to be a simulation, and there's all these different scenarios and situations that can spawn. You might drop into an instance and scoop something, and the scooping of something triggers something to happen. And what Frontier are trying to do is make it so that all sorts of different courses of action make little things happen, so that it feels like a sort of living, breathing galaxy. And I thought it was a nice reminder of that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I didn't realize is that, as much as I enjoy dropping in on the scenarios and the alert, especially in the alert systems, I didn't realize that if you managed to complete the little bit of gameplay, it actually counted towards the chevrons.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a nice little bit of background stuff. So, I drop in, I repair, let's say a distress signal. I drop in, I repair a couple of ships, then the Thargoid scouts attack, defend against the Thargoid scouts, and then hey presto, they all jump away. I didn't realize all of a sudden that's a point in humanity's favor.
Yeah, probably not very much, but it's interesting that it does still count.
Oh yeah, I know, because it makes things a lot more interesting. And one of the other things that I was quite interested about was that, yeah, I know people have been getting frustrated about they're going to the CZs and going, there aren't any Medusas or there aren't any basilisks here, and I've got a mission to kill them. Yet it turns out that's not really where you should be looking for them.
Yeah, I think there's been a tendency as well for, obviously the sort of under attack stations and ground ports are so spectacular that people tend to just go and hit those, I think, and spend hours and hours fighting combats around there. And it was just a nice reminder that there's lots of other ways to encounter them, I thought.
Yeah. Ben, Psychic, what did you two think about the Tom's explanations?
I can listen to Tom speak for days. I could literally listen to Tom speak for hours about stuff that about the little reasoning and little nuances and the kind of stuff that Tom really gets passionate about. He's so passionate just in general, and it's really lovely and heartening to see devs be super passionate about a game, especially a game as blinking old as Elite Dangerous is, and see that there are still people actively involved in creating new content for it, like these scenarios, and the passion behind it, and the fact that the acknowledging of silly things like in a CZ, for example, a NPC pilot going, "Oh, I can't see anyone because all of the action's happening along a direction that it can't see or that its sensors can't reach to." I just thought that like acknowledging stuff like that was really cool as well. Big fan of Tom. I am.
Yeah, you got a couple of name checks from him, and sort of, I think you're one of his favourite streamers at the moment. So, yes,
I'm one of everyone's favourite streamers.
Not Colin, clearly.
Oh.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem.
No.
I need validation from everybody.
Oh, sorry, you've just reminded me actually of something I was watching with another thing I was watching with my son, which I didn't even know existed, called a Jurassic World thing. Jurassic World cartoon, which apparently exists, and that had a streamer who was always needing validation too. Sorry, Psychic.
I wasn't. Sorry. I stopped listening. You stopped talking about me, so obviously it wasn't important.
Yeah, I know exactly what this character's like.
I know what you mean. Ben, are you talking about Camp Cretaceous?
That's Camp the one,
Cretaceous
yeah.
is fantastic.
It was great, wasn't it? Yes.
I've only watched 3 episodes of it, and I was like, hold on, there's actually something to this.
It's brilliant. Watch it all.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's very, very good. I highly recommend.
Isn't it a kids show, though?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
But it's really
what
good.
stops that from being good? It doesn't stop it from being good.
Yeah, The Last Airbender is certainly a kids show that works on so many levels. But yeah, so if it's up there with that.
And same goes with Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Trek Prodigy again. That's nominally a kids show, but it's very good.
It has a little dip toward, like, not Star Wars. I've not seen the Star Wars things, but Camp Cretaceous has a little bit of a dip, but it's worth keeping with it. Worth keeping with it for the last season, because the last season is beautiful and it's got queer rep, and it makes my little queer heart do a happy. It's lovely.
Ben, did you catch up with this then?
Yes, I was watching Tom's thing and I was loving that. So I'm just inviting people to the team and trying to go not too fast. that's the whole reason why I'm doing what we're doing tonight, just flying around the zones, because you're just listening to Tom talking about the chat and the stories that go on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I've been aware of them for years. And I've really kind of ignored them, and especially in the... Yeah, I've ignored them. But then Tom just got me thinking about them and thinking, you know what, I want to actually see what stuff's going off. Because, I'm used to them going on, and you've just got like some random fleet of ships saying we're gearing up, and then they just, but nothing seems to come of it. And there are some which are good for collecting materials and things like that, but it just felt like nothing seemed to happen in them. And the way that Tom was describing the one script to rule them all kind of thing just made me like, I want to go and see what's happening here. And I've already seen a scenario where, like, it comes in and there's a few people there, like we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
And then an AX ship comes in, scoops up the NPCs, not the escape pods.
Yep.
And like the NPC AX pilot's like, yeah, not here. And then just as the NPC came in to collect everybody, some Thargoid scouts come in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we quite handily got rid of the Thargoid scouts and everything was fine. But it was what Tom was saying, like just these tiny little blazing your own trail stories. That was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm missing something here. And I thought I would go and explore that this evening.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I did actually quite like, and I didn't notice it until he pointed it out, and then once it's been pointed out to you, it's blindingly obvious. But in the alert system, the conversations between the pilots are all cocky and all sure of themselves, and then as soon as you're into an invasion system, the same comments are the confidence is not there. They're a lot more. We're certainly battle hardened fighters now. They're not nowhere near as cocky as they were.
Yeah, nothing for a while. Hope it stays that way.
Mm.
But then I've got another guy wake me up when the bugs arrive. I signed up for some combat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Alec.
Oh, yeah, there was one thing he mentioned I wanted to ask Psychic about, actually, because I think it came up in her stream. But there was this whole thing about flying around in like a debris field, and there were, targeting different things and then moving on and targeting different things. And I think Darren or someone was chipped in chat and said, what was that again? And it turned out it was an unoccupied escape pod, right?
Yeah, it was.
Is that new?
It's new. An unoccupied escape pod was new with update 14.
Was it? But
yeah.
So we used to find escape pods, probably still do, on the ground sometimes, just a bit randomly. So we have occupied escape pods. Surely we have unoccupied, don't we?
We didn't have unoccupied until before update 14.
Huh.
They were damaged or just occupied and then unoccupied, which led to the conversation about the Thargoids using like a straw and sucking out the inside like a Capri Sun, and that is the only reason that I have any recollection of that.
Crunchy on the outside.
It's been a long time since update 14.
I suppose it's just because I'm so used to seeing an occupied escape pod. I just assumed, obviously, there would also be unoccupied escape pods.
I think that's why Darren drew my attention to it as well, if memory serves, because I just looked at it and went, okay, and then moved on. So I wonder if I feel like that's why he was like, hey, check that out. Check that. That's a new thing. Have a look at that.
Yeah. Hint, point. Yeah, say no more.
Although what they mean, who knows? If they mean anything in particular at all, or whether they're just some more set dressing.
Maybe has anyone tried giving one to a Thargoid? Maybe they'll return people.
They find the straw and they feed the person back into the straw, and the canister turns this really, really awkward shade of red.
What we need to do is scoop one, take it down to a planet, eject it, get out, open it with the cutting tool, fill it full of mines, seal it back up again, and then drop it in the path of an Orthrus.
Can you imagine? That is your Odyssey content right there.
Actually, that's an interesting thing. Has anybody ever got out of a SRV with those escape pods on the ground and tried to interact with them using the cutter or any other tools?
Not since Odyssey, actually. No, interesting.
Uh,
Say these things in jest, but one of them just might work.
Hang on,
Something to look at.
let me start writing a list for tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Okay.
Tomorrow is Wednesday, yes.
Yes, Mac Winston said that the unoccupied escape pods have been returned from Etienne Dawn.
That's fair.
They were a family of 4.
They were.
Yeah, the other thing that was quite interesting, and a lot of people have picked up on this, is that Arv has hinted that we're missing something. There's something that the community as a whole has missed so far.
We're always missing things.
Oh, Psychit's gone dot crazy. Go on, Psychit.
It's just. I would find it. I reckon somebody has probably not missed something and then disregarded it as unimportant. I think that is more of the case. I would find it very, very strange if Canon haven't done absolutely everything possible to figure out done all of the testing that they need to do. I mean, I feel like I've done a lot of testing. I don't know necessarily that I've done absolutely everything because I got distracted because killing aliens is really fun. What they should have done is made killing aliens less fun so we'd have more chance of looking around and stuff.
Yeah, and there's plenty of fun to be had when you look at the amount of aliens that are flying about at the moment. Didn't we have a false hope, Alec, about the Grelics?
Yes, it was that thing I've mentioned a few times because I loved the idea. It's one of the things Psychic tried early on, I believe, was to take a Grelic, which has now got Thargoid sort of musk imprinted on it, if you will, and drop it in the path of an Orthrus and get an Orthrus to scoop it. It just seems like such an obvious, cool thing to do. You know, the Orthrus is out there scouting to decide which system they're going to invade next. So feed it false information. I don't know. It just seemed like a cool thing. Psychic tried it. It didn't work. I think a few other people tried it. It didn't work. And then there's all this hinting about triangles and stuff, which may or may not mean anything. And then, yes, just today in the forum thread, I think it was Roots Rat posted a brief little comment that he'd done it and it worked. And I was like, bloody hell, hang on, that's huge news. You know, maybe they fixed it. Maybe this is the thing that they've been signaling. But he did then report back later and he said he'd need to double check his stream, but he thought the Orthrus just crashed into it and exploded it.
Oh, that's a bit.
So probably didn't scoop it. But I think it probably is something just to go out and try a few more times.
Yeah, I think my next plan is to take a Grelic back take a relic, take it to the Thargoid's site to turn it into a Grelic, then try either the beacon, the Guardian beacons, or some of the other places just to see what happens. Probably nothing. I've been knocking on those what I think are hangar doors around the Guardian ruins for ages, and nothing's happened there either. But it's.
Can you imagine if now, after everybody has tried this many times, Frontier were like, actually now it works. And not the other times that people have done it. This is what you've missed is that we forgot to turn the switch to make it work. I'm so sorry, but would you mind terribly going and doing that again? I wouldn't. No, hang on. I can't risk that because that genuinely could be the case.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, there was the occasion that a certain Stephen Usher suggested live on our stream that we put a Guardian artifact into the Thargoid machine. And we thought, that nothing will happen there. And then basically it was code brown for about a minute and a half. Yeah, that's still on record. Yeah, so yeah, I've got a list of things to look up. I think I'll do a little bit of science after when I get a chance to. Frame Shift Live. And I thought it was an excellent stream. Always good to have Tom on telling us exactly where we're going wrong. Now that also comes along with the Discovery Scanner, which came along this Monday. A few things to note from there was that apparently update 15, they're working through our feedback of the Thargoid War, and they've also got their sights still set at the end of April for the release of update 15. Ben.
I just want to check something here, actually. I was looking, and was producer Adam on the stream?
What, in the background? No, he wasn't.
I didn't see him in the background, and I didn't see any mentions this week.
No, there
He
was
was
no
definitely
where's Adam.
there.
You saw him. He was there.
Oh no, but I mean, he would as in he was in the room with them because we heard him laugh a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was he wasn't hiding behind them or anything like that.
I do know that they had to move the community carrier because some people had discovered the community carrier's location and were planning on photobombing.
Weren't they inviting people to basically come and join them later on?
I think they're going to do that in the future.
Yeah.
Can I chip in on that? Because I saw that. Surely, if you find the community carrier, all you've got to do is transfer a ship to it, and you've got it permanently bookmarked.
I don't think it's got a shipyard. I'd be incredibly surprised if it was if it had anything other than just the bare minimum.
Yes, of course, that would do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, okay.
That would make sense, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's one that they use for everything anyway.
All of a sudden, I got a sneaking suspicion. Us there going, "Oh God, quick! Drop the shipyard! Drop the shipyard!"
Can we edit this out before he hears it?
It's live, mate.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh well.
Yeah, the next thing that they were talking about was the console copy portal. Now, as you were aware, when update 14 happened, they stopped the console transfer process. The very efficient and successful console transfer process, but people have been asking about it, and they've put out a note of reassurance that they are going to be bringing it back. They can't give an exact date just yet because update 15 is the priority, but they haven't forgotten the console commanders who'd like to move over. The option will be coming back. They've got to do a little bit more analysis actually because of the changes that have been made with update 14. Yeah, it's not as easy to transfer things over as it was. So I think it must be easier to move things between legacy servers rather than between legacy and live. So that's what I take from that. Right, and finally, the unstuck option. It's been brought to their attention that there's some confusion over the unstuck main menu option, which is present for Elite Dangerous Live 4.0 commanders. So that means you don't have Odyssey, but you do have Horizons, and you're using the Odyssey engine, right? Prior to the separate release of Elite Dangerous Live 4.0 and Elite Dangerous Legacy modes, commanders who may have found themselves in tricky situations, for like being stuck in terrain and unable to move, you could relog into Legacy modes in order to reset their position in Odyssey as a way to bypass those problems. However, you can't do that anymore, and the unstuck option on the main menu provides essentially a more elegant way to achieve the exact same effect, but without causing you grief. Otherwise, you are going to get stuck there. I mean, I've had to. I think it's the case. You use the unstuck option if you are stuck with the SRV. So, because before, what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to flip up into the old elite, the original elite mode, and all of a sudden you'd be in orbit. However, that's not possible now because those two modes just work with legacy. So, yeah, that's why the unstuck option is in there. So, Discovery Scanner. Anybody got any comment on that one? Okay.
I think there was a mention for Lave Radio's birthday in it, wasn't there?
Was there?
I think there was.
Oh, good. It's nice to get a birthday card.
Happy birthday, Lave Radio, in bold letters down the bottom. There we go. Knew it was there somewhere.
Right. Well, the in-game events and the news. On Thursday, the 23rd of February, the Thargoid War update happened. Now, this was basically a summary from Vox Galactica and other news outlets about how the Thargoid War is going. It's not going well, I think, is the best way to put it. Also on Thursday, the 23rd, Aegis launches Caustic Sync Launcher Initiative. Now, for those of you who have been following this story, is that we hopefully at the end of this we'll be able to get these limpets, which will allow us to penetrate deeper into the maelstroms. Fingers crossed that we'll be able to do it.
That wasn't what the thing's for.
Oh, wasn't it?
It's not for limpets that will allow us to probe deeper. It's for caustic sinks. So caustic sinks that work in a similar way to heat sinks is my understanding of it. It's nothing to do with
limpets.
Creating limpets.
It's not limpets.
Right. Okay.
But talking about limpets, that raises a question I was going to ask, actually.
Oh, go on.
I thought that we could fire a decontamination limpet into nothing, and it would then try and attach onto you.
I believe so.
Yes. Yeah,
Well,
that's what happens.
Well, I've been trying. I've got a decontamination limpet on my secondary controller just now.
Yes.
I hit my fire button and nothing's happening.
Are you aiming at something?
No.
You have something targeted?
I've got nothing. I've got nothing relevant targeted.
Have you got anything targeted at all?
You've got to have. Well, how do you untarget everything?
Are you pointing at someone? Just change your target to be nothing. You can just like
I'm just
point at
rotating
something
through
and
my.
do it.
Point into space. Point into space and just target ahead.
Okay.
Yep, got it.
Right. So okay. Well, that's your mostly clueless section then. You got to actually target nothing, not something that's invalid.
Well, if you target something that's invalid, it'll aim to hit that something, but it won't release anything if it can't do it. But because you're not targeting anything, it'll self.
I've sent
you'll do it to
limpets
yourself.
after. I've sent decon limpets after Thargoid scouts. It goes chasing after the Thargoid scouts, catches up with them, and goes, "Oh, you're incompatible," and then self-destructs.
Decontamination limpet failed.
I like the idea that it would perceive the scout as being all contamination and get rid of it entirely.
That'd be such a fantastic little.
Missing
thing is
the
nothing
trick.
but contamination.
Just fire decontamination limpets at scouts. That's all you need.
Actually, just let me say this, right? How come the guidance on a limpet is so much better than a missile?
Oh, it's not really. It's really not.
Oh no, it was able to. It was able to follow that blasted scout around. The missiles that I had just sort of gave up after a second. Anyway, right. So it's a variation on the heat sink, but it works in the same manner as the heat sink. Only we use these.
A heat sink, but it gets rid of caustic.
Fingers crossed. We'll find out on. We'll find out when it drops.
Yeah.
And if that's what it is, I guess Psychic, seeing as you're the most AX person here, I think.
That sounds problematic.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say anything about Colin's skill level, but I think you might be.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear it.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up now.
Right.
Before Colin does nasty things to me.
It's just a typical, just put down the host here today, is it? I mean, geez.
Okay, well, both of you then, because I don't know. Is there an actual benefit then of this being a heat sink but for caustic damage versus shoving a decon limited?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
What is it?
100%.
What is the benefit?
They have their own ammo, mate, so you're not carrying around a whole extra internal full of decontamination limpets.
Yeah, but
and
I
then
can
having
go
to
off
have
and
an
just generate them myself. So that's
what
not
you can make
exactly a big
you can make limpets which cost 10 iron a time. I'm not fucking doing that. That's pain in the ass. If I can get caustic sinks and I can whack a caustic sink on at the same time as a heat sink, because the only reason really that currently that I am using heat sinks is because I am burning my ship to get rid of the caustic and then I have to heat sink it down. If I can replace that with decent caustic sinks who do the job better than frying all of my internals on my ship as well, that's going to be crack-a-lacking for me. I am all over that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm opposite. I always carry decom limpets with me so that I can not only decom myself, but I can also decom other people. But
yeah, other people deserve to die if they've not done it right.
There we go. Psychic.
Once again, it's all about Psychic.
No, like if you're gonna go and fight, know where you can repair, know where you can heal yourself. Take the onus on yourself. If you're not gonna take that onus, it's your own fault if you're seeing the rebuy screen. 100%.
We ever heard that philosophy before? Oh yeah, it was you have fly TIE fighters for the Empire. That's where I've heard that before.
I mean, Darth Vader had a very good point. I don't know Star Wars at all to be able to make those kind of references. My apologies.
I'm just, I'm. It's something I actually. Oh, this is getting boring. Well, not boring. This is getting something now. It's one of the things I was really looking forward to actually with the advent of healing lasers and decon and things like that. Was some form of the triumvirate of tank, DPS, and healer for spaceship combat.
Yeah.
Where would there be a benefit if you could somehow look at me? I'm a big aggro ship, and I go and get the Thargoids aggro and keep it on me. And then you've got, say you've got your guy in your, let's say a Corvette to keep Sai happy. You got a guy in a Corvette flying around saying, I'm look at me, and things like that. Then you got a couple of guys in, call it chieftains, to keep half happy, and they're doing the DPS. And then you got somebody in a ladder or something flying around healing people.
Counterpoint, that poor sod in the cutter, if he's not getting any shots on the Thargoid, he ain't reaping the money. So where's the benefit to him doing that?
Well, he's gonna, because if you're all in the same wing, you'd be sharing the money anyway. As long as he's actually
not the money for the kill.
Yeah, but you'd still be shooting it. I mean, you've got guns on your ship.
So you're still shooting it, but you're sacrificing more firepower to heal people who haven't come fully prepared.
No, that would be the healing person who'd be doing that.
That's what I mean. So the healing person ain't getting the money from the kills.
Oh, they can still shoot it once with a gun.
It's to do with the proportion of how much damage you do, because I know people who have shot Thargoids once with the gun right towards the end of it, within those 10 seconds, and not reach any of the money.
Okay, so in that case, then they should get credited for healing their team up or something.
They get a warm glow of a job well done. It's not all about the money.
That ain't going to pay for the rebuys they get, because they're sat there in the back like Billy No Mates, and everyone else is going back to the base to get repaired.
If this were a thing, then obviously they would deserve some kind of recompense for actually sitting there healing the guys who are doing the tanking and the DPSing.
Yeah, because it's the tanking and the DPSing that are supposed to keep the Thargoid away from the healer. That's how it worked in all the other MMOs.
The healer's should be super squishy, running around her nada, but they can heal the tank and things like that or something.
Yeah,
it was just something I was quite looking forward to, but it's never really come to that.
No, it's not come to that, because basically I know that the first lot of people that tried that, they went straight for the healer.
Yeah.
Also, there is a problem that if that healer is trying to get a couple of shots in on the Thargoid, and they accidentally do the most damage in a certain period, and that Thargoid then goes, "Oh, actually, I'm going to go and attack you now because you've done the most damage to me." That is when they are fucked. Then they're also seeing the rebuy screen, and then they're dead when everybody else comes back and kills the Thargoid, and they don't get the money for it.
Well, you see, that's the thing about when you have that kind of organization of tank, DPS, and healer, is that you've got to start to learn to work as a team, and that's the problem with some people is that they're just wanting to go in there
They're all
willy
about
nilly.
psychics.
Well,
They,
I
they all,
fight. I
they
fight
all
in a
shout. They all shout Leroy Jenkins and go
But I
straight
fight,
in.
but these people are like people with my experience of anti-Thargoid combat, and I've done a lot of this is fighting in big groups of people, so it's more than one wing. So everyone is trying to get their. I was going to say everyone is trying to get their end away, but that is not the sentence that that is not the sentence that started coming out of my mouth. But everyone is trying to get their part of the bounty
trying to get their
and those
hitting.
kind of things, and their rewards. If there is. If it's just one group of people or one wing, 100% absolutely yes, great. That's wonderful. That sounds like a really, really good idea. If you've got like 4 people and one person is sat doing this this Healy decon role, and then everyone else is doing the other stuff. There's one big heavy hitter and then a couple of other nippy ones that come in and take shots. That's a great dynamic and wonderful. But in my experience of a lot of people fighting in one spot, it's detrimental to other players, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're making the assumption that it's one wing versus the Thargoids, not the multi-gib approach that the anti-Xeno initiative used to do.
Look, it's fun. It's really fun, and it looks pretty.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not debating that because we've done it ourselves. But yeah. Incidentally, on Monday the 27th, Rackham has now revealed that in the upcoming federal election, he's going to stand for president up against President Hudson and Miss Winters. So that's going to be interesting. I think we all forgot about the fact that the Federation is technically a democracy, so that means that the election is due at some point. Alec, you wanted to go back to the the conversation we were just having.
Well, joke's ruined now, but I was going to say, are we talking about some kind of triangle of combat here?
Fuck me.
Anyway, sorry.
Amazing. Incredible. I give you points for that. I give you all points. You all have points on a score system. I just want to let you all know that you will get an evaluation at the end of the session.
It's like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter.
They matter to me, and that's the most important thing.
Oh, again, back to
points win prizes.
That's what you were thinking when they took away your driving license.
Thanks, I haven't got one.
Go on then, Psychic. What would you like to discuss about Mr. Rackham?
Well, that wasn't what the Galnet article was about. He wasn't announcing that he was running. He was just revealing his manifesto. He announced that he was running like back in April last year. So it was no surprise that this came out. But it's just him talking about his outlining his policies and stuff and making a stand for like all of the stuff. Yeah. Cool.
I'm sort of getting Musk vibes from him.
It's rich bloke. Rich bloke wants power. We've never seen that happen before.
No, never before. Well, your friend, the Lich King, Paul Crowther, has done his own unique view on the week's happenings, and you can find that over on the forums. We'll put a link in the show notes. On the subject of the war, let's have a quick look at the latest statistics as taken from Inara and from the DCOH website. There are now 865 systems under Thargoid control. That's up, steady Ben, 69 from last week.
Once you get 69, there's night to look forward to.
77 systems, including Guy, are in alert. 59 systems are being invaded, even as we speak. 25 systems are in recovery. There are still 8 maelstroms. And get this, we are killing Thargoids at a rate of 54 Thargoids for every commander ship loss.
That's not that good, really, is it?
Does that include
Is it?
scouts?
That does include scouts.
Yeah, that's not that good then.
I don't kill that many scouts.
Ooh, get her.
No, because they die so quickly. And I'm normally on my break when people are killing the scouts. Because they don't pay as much.
I'm going through scouts like hot knife through butter at the moment. Anyway, Thargoids are still on course to wipe out humanity in less than 4 years. Actually, it was 4 years last week. It's now less than 4 years this week. So they're beginning to kill us quicker.
It'll be fine.
There'll be a slider that'll get moved and it'll be lovely. It'll be all fine and dandy again.
Colonia, here
Elite
we come.
Dangerous will be dead by 2030 then.
Dead game, mate. It's a dead game.
Exactly. Oh, we've lost. Talking about dead, we've just lost Miggles.
What to?
I don't know. He just vanished.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think it's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your
And welcome back. Well, we'll start off with some prizes have been given to people. Our wonderful Blizzard paint jobs, which we were giving away last week, and we've got Alex Spot the Difference competition. Commander Bozzle Krem, Commander Glass Darkly, Commander W. Yes, we don't know what his name or how to pronounce his name
We've
either.
got his details, but all he wrote was W, and I'm not going to out the guy. I know who you are, and that's all that matters, I guess.
And Commander Mephisto have all won one of these shipskins. Do we have any left? Or have
We
they all
do
gone?
have a couple left. If anyone can think of anything to do for anything, or for that matter, if you need, as far as I'm concerned at the moment, if you need one, jump up and down in the stream or something.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. However,
I don't know
we
how
will-
they're going to jump up and down on the stream, but yes.
I'm sure there's an emote for it somehow. Psychit,
Yo, what up?
are you happy about these new paint jobs?
I consider it like my service to the community that I mentioned that I would like a Corvette skin, and then literally the same week we got a new, absolutely flipping beautiful Corvette skin. Holy nuts! This is lush. I haven't been in game to pick it up since I saw it, but it's bloody beautiful.
Yeah. The Osiris paint jobs are one of my favorites. In fact, this is probably one of the kind of paint jobs I first put on my Asp Explorer, so that they always go down very, very well. I love the gold and the black ones. Not sure about the reds and the other colors, but the gold and the black are my favorite in this one. It's just a pity I don't have a Corvette to actually get one, because I'm not that popular with the Federation.
No, Federation can go after themselves. I'm still bitter.
Still, they do. There's a really pretty ship. It's real pretty.
No, it's just
Hang on. A Corvette, a pretty ship.
It's so beautiful.
Sorry, I got to disagree
is,
there.
is beautiful. The Corvette is just overcompensating for something.
Oh no, it's beautiful. It's like the Anaconda is overcompensating for something. The Anaconda is a shit heap in comparison to that beautiful, slimline, gorgeous lady with the beautiful black and gold. Oh my God, it's delicious.
We've got a friend coming who's just shown up.
Are the blue bits in the gold one heat
Yeah.
vents?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's very good looking. They've done a very, very good job of it. I really like the tealy coloured one and all the different colours of blue on it. I think that's lovely. But the gold one's gorgeous as well.
So, are you getting them all, or are you just?
Well, I'm building a Corvette. I'm building an Antizena Corvette once I've got all of the materials for it, and I think it might be that black and gold. That black and gold is speaking to me.
Yeah, I completely get what you mean about the black and gold one. It does look quite nice, even though it's on a Corvette.
I don't think they've not done the Osiris ones for any of the others. Any of the big 3 or 4, if you count the Type 10, have they?
No, I don't think they have. I mean, although to tell you the truth, I think that skin would be wasted on a Type 10.
I don't know.
I don't know that it would suit the curves of the cutter at all.
No, I don't think it's got to be angular.
Yeah,
it really has to. I mean, that's why it works with the. I mean, it works with any of the Lacons, I think, but well, with the exception of the T7. that would look like a flying sarcophagus. That would. Here you go, your own flying Egyptian coffin. Anyway, Joe, we shall take a break and come back with some adverts in a moment.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality. Constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become the commander and be free to blaze your own trail? Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us. Be free.
From the creators of luggage limpets and passenger lounge suitcase shuttles comes the latest revolution in passenger transportation, the passenger cannon. For centuries, circus performers have perfected the technique of being fired from a cannon. Paired with our new memory gel passenger pod impact absorption technology, you too can speed up disembarkation times from your liner by up to 250%. No longer be limited by pad sizes and excessive docking fees with the passenger cannon. But how does it all work? First, all passengers will be issued with a passenger pod inflation suit during transit. On approach to your passenger's destination, simply fill the inflation suit with our patented impact-absorbing memory gel. Then, once in a stable position in proximity to the destination, effortlessly slide them into the disembarkation chamber ready for launch. The passenger cannon is now available in both gimbaled and turreted varieties to make aiming elementary. Make your liner one of the top 1% in the galaxy. Buy a passenger cannon today. Warning, passenger cannon must not be operated on high-gravity planets or near geysers.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as
how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded. Frameshift charge detected. Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire. It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave business directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low.
And welcome back. Ben has a service announcement.
Bing bong! Commander Elysium, please send a PM to Edelweiss on Twitch. You've got block whispers turned on and I can't send you any messages. So if you want an out, send me a message so I can do something. Bye!
You need IDI campers to follow that. Again, something so old that Psychic won't remember.
Ding, ding, ding!
Psychic, the meat advert seems to be going quite
Meat
well.
advert came out. Meat advert dropped yesterday. I've still got 2 in the bag, baby. They'll keep. Well, while we're still making them, I'll keep churning out those videos because they're fun.
You've made Winter Mute GB feel hungry, and Soccer 42.
It's a family of 4.
He's getting the meat sweats just thinking about it right now.
Good.
So.
How about chops? I know that advert back to front. It's very bad. I hear it so often. I hear it in my sleep.
It's so worrying to hear you be so enthusiastic about meat.
I mean, if the shoe fits, Colin. If the shoe fits.
Talking about meat, have any of you guys seen a YouTuber who cooks steaks very, very nicely called Gagu or Guga or something?
For a second there, you said Grogu. Then I was there thinking,
no, not Baby Grogu.
I never saw that episode of The Mandalorian. Starts tomorrow.
Oh God, it does as well. Yes.
Yes.
But no, he was frosting off a vegan Wagyu steak on people, and they were like, "This is absolute shit. What are you giving us?" And it looked absolutely disgusting. I don't know how anybody can respectfully call it a vegan Wagyu steak because it's not. It just looks it's nasty.
Anyway, that's how the heck did we get on this subject?
We were talking about meat. We were talking about meat. Speaking of meat, we moved straight onto the Mandalorian, and I feel like that was seamless. Because that meat is Daddy Mando.
No, even I'd not say no. I'd not say no to that meat either. Although they don't have any. Katie Sackhoff's in it. There you go, Colin.
Let's bring you back to Elite Dangerous, into the Elite Dangerous galaxy, not the galaxy a long time ago, far, far away.
No, I was more thinking about Sheldon and Big Bang Theory. Was it Sheldon? No, it wasn't Sheldon. Who was it? The Katie Sackhoff fantasies in Big Bang.
That would have been Howard. It's
Was it
always
Howard?
Howard when it's per. I thought he would be an
Yeah.
inspiration for you.
Surprisingly not, no.
No. Oh, Psycho Cow's just turned up in the chat. Me and him and Moof went for a very nice curry on Saturday night. It was Sunday night. It was very appreciative since we're all talking about decent meals.
Was that nice meat as well?
Oh, it was gorgeous meat. So let's move on to our main discussion, which
Should we move on to the meat of the show?
You know what? I was trying to avoid that pun. I was really trying to avoid that.
Lean
kind
into
of
it,
link.
Colin. Make it happen. Just let it happen.
And I thought, no, that would be too cheap and too obvious. And then Ben just no, that's the other show. The other show does cheese. Yeah, the other show does cheese. We do meat. Oh dear, how did I end up doing this? Right. Now, obviously, with these new caustic, well, I almost said caustic limpets then, but no, caustic sinks or whatever they turn out to be, we are going to be exploring deeper.
Bathroom sink.
We're going to be exploring deeper into the Maelstrom than ever before. Now, let's go for some rampant speculation. What do you expect to find and what do you hope to find? Let's start with Alec, because I'm going to come to Psych at last because she's got so much to talk about.
I have one sort of problem with these caustic sinks. So currently we can explore the Maelstrom a bit, and we take quite a lot of caustic damage. So we, unless you've got a super tanky ship, you sort of generally have to bail out a little bit. But if you have a super tanky ship, you can push on, and we've already seen numerous videos that at the heart of the Maelstrom is a big pulse that pushes us backwards at great speed, and it seems pretty much impassable. So my only issue with caustic sinks, and because we had a little unfortunate sneak peek way back when, we sort of know that the synthesis recipe for them involves using the things that are floating around inside the Maelstrom, I believe. So it strikes me that all the caustic sinks are going to let us do is get more materials to synthesize more caustic sinks. Discuss.
Well, first of all, Psychic, you managed to get quite deep into the Maelstrom just using a dolphin.
Yeah, I managed to get like right in there with my dolphin. It took a lot of damage by the time the pulse went off. So we got to where we would call it almost full penetration, but not entirely full penetration at that point. But we also, I wasn't experiencing a huge amount of caustic damage, but I also didn't really hang around very much. I mostly just, if you've ever played the Outer Wilds, it felt very, very much like going into the bramble thingy. It was very reminiscent of going into the bramble planet of the Outer Wilds, and it just sort of like just sort of felt like coasting in, and then the middle section went bleh, and then spat you out, and that was pretty much the climax after the penetration. Sorry, I had to finish that. My apologies.
Finish it off.
So basically,
you had to finish
you had to
off.
finish it off yourself, did you? Right,
yeah.
okay.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been fully satisfactory. It does need to come to some kind of nice resolution. But I'm kind of with Alex. Alec,
would somebody please throw a bucket of water over Ben, please? Thank you.
I feel like we it's this missing a part of the puzzle, isn't it? So we get these caustic sinks, and we can last for longer because we've got this protection that we need to be able to get a bit further, and it's going to be great. But if we still get towards the center and that EMP triggers and sends us out, and we still get like
was going to say we still get buggered that way, but I don't think that's the great analogy either. But we're still having that sort of situation. I have seen a YouTube video, and I've seen a couple of people who have mentioned this, that we've had other people who've used multiple what are they called? The shutdown field neutralizers.
Oh yeah, the field.
People have used multiple of those and sort of like had them on triggers and been able to trigger them one after the other. Let's say when the center thing goes off, they've been able to last a lot longer within that EMP, and it hasn't shut them down or reduced some of the capabilities of this ship quite as badly as it would have done with 2. So my question is, the caustic sinks are going to be, are they one point of the puzzle, or are they one section of the puzzle, and then the next part is going to be like the advanced shutdown field neutralizer, which gives more of a nullifying effect to the shutdown.
Yeah, that's where I'm just reading our chat at the moment. I'm going to have to just ignore it right now. Just to, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's a case of we're going to have to. How do you actually describe this without sounding like a
difficult? Because it started dirty, and that's entirely on me, and I appreciate that. It started dirty, and we're just gonna have to continue and follow through, I think.
Oh right, okay. Well,
go for the happy ending, eh?
This is just so bad. Well, as we sink deeper into the cloud.
Yep, nice. Keep going.
Yes. As we slide our way through, we will have to. I think this is just the first stage of the puzzle. We will find something in the cloud that will give us a hint as to how to get past the next barrier. And of course,
that's the interesting point. I think is we know we can't get past the barrier, but do we think that there are things in the cloud that we haven't found because we just haven't had enough time in there to explore it?
Maybe.
Yes. I think there is.
And that is a very probable answer to the question, or like the scenario that Arthur posited, saying that we've not discovered everything yet. Because if we haven't found everything, there has to be an in-game reason for us not to have been able to find it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The way that Arthur actually said that, I was under the impression that we'd missed something that's already in the game at the moment.
Well, it could very well be in the game at the moment. It's just we've not spent enough time. We've not been able to last long enough to be able to find it.
No, what I meant was, say they were dropping a lot of hints about the alert systems and things like that, and I do know that I've been in alert scenarios, and they're thinking that didn't make much sense. But then, of course, Tom comes on and sort of says, but it's waiting on certain conditions to happen. And I'm just wondering whether or not we're waiting on one interesting little thing to happen that will have a knock-on effect. Quickly, I'll go to Ben and then Alec.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that these caustic sinks are going to basically make the maelstroms easier for everybody to explore. And yeah, I think Psychic's right that there might be stuff in the maelstrom that we've just not been able to see yet because it's been, while we're in there, we're too busy trying to get out, basically.
I mean, what happens if you start knocking out the caustic generators?
You get materials.
Yeah, I know, but after you take out a certain amount of caustic generators, what happens to the caustic cloud? Surely you take out a lot of those, then, hey presto, surely the caustic cloud gets weaker.
That sounds an awful lot like a big group science experiment.
Interesting. Did I just have an original idea?
No, we've been talking about doing that for weeks. Waiting for the caustic things to be here.
Right.
Congratulations, Colin.
That was me thinking that I'd come up with something
No, don't get me
original.
wrong. People can have like original ideas that are separate from people, but there's been a lot of chatter about that for weeks, just waiting for those caustic sinks to be there, and also making sure that we pick a day when the instancing isn't going to shit the bed, which is always a good old roll of the dice.
Right, Alec.
Yeah,
Let's see how you do with this one then. Go on.
Okay, well, what I was thinking, like, if there was a thing in the caustic cloud that we hadn't found, it seems unlikely that it's just there and nobody happens to have stumbled across it, because then everyone descended on those clouds. So I don't think it's a thing that's just there and we haven't noticed it. But maybe it's a thing that needs time. So two thoughts occurred to me. One was Tom talking about those scenarios, and some of them do require time. You wait, and then a transport shows up, and then something happens, and that's the way it plays out. So time could be a factor, that spending more time in the cloud could trigger a scenario we haven't seen yet. And then the other thought I had, which is prompted by something people have been in chat, which I hadn't realised, that there's a lot of Orthrus pottering around inside the maelstroms. So maybe having these heat sinks will give us time to try experiments with those, like feeding them Grelix. Maybe we're meant to feed them Grelix inside the maelstrom, rather than just in a threat force signal in a alert system. Who knows? But maybe that's the thing. Maybe time will buy us the option to try more things. I'm looking forward to it.
And that's I think that's the benefit of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is effectively phase one of the investigation into the maelstroms. I reckon there's probably another maybe 2 or 3 phases. First of all, get past the caustic cloud. Second of all, get past the pulse. Then third thing, we've probably find out what's at the center of the maelstrom, and then we've got to work out how to get in it. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the only way to get rid of it is by doing something on foot inside it in order to get out.
I hope so.
I'd like that to be the case very much.
Do you think they'll do that? Do you think they would make Heart of the Maelstrom be Odyssey only?
100%, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that it's like we've been talking about it's odd that they haven't really put any new Odyssey content in so far connected with this. I think that it would be a fantastic way to encourage people to bite the bullet and join us in Odyssey if they can do this. They do. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Thargoid War's been fantastic, but it's been fantastic that everybody can join in. It just feels like they now need, right, okay, everybody's come back to at least 4.0, because this has actually got a lot of players over from Legacy and playing in 4.0 of the Thargoid War. Now, if we can only entice those people who have still got doubts about Odyssey over into the Odyssey side, if you like, that would be a good. Yes, go on then, Psychic.
On that, yeah, you're completely right. I think that it is thus far criminal that they haven't done new on foot stuff, and I'm hoping that at the end of April we're going to see a butt ton of on foot stuff to do with Thargoids. There is Thargoids are winning at the moment. Very much so. Thargoids, yeah, exactly. Thargoids are winning at the moment. Where is the incentive for them to get out of their ships, out in space? There isn't any. So the only way that we would be able to get to them out of their ships is in a place where they at the moment feel as comfortable as those pilots in the alert systems who are like, yeah, throw a Thargoid at me, I will destroy it, I just want to kill things. That arbitrary confidence and that kind of thing. If we're going to see an actual Thargoid, we're going to see a Thargoid in its natural habitat, and we're going to have to go there and disembark and go around on foot to kill them. There's no to me, that makes that like it's Independence Daying the Thargoids, basically.
Oh, we're going up there with a Mac and a virus. Wonderful.
Well, on the Independence Day thing, because I was just thinking that. So, how convenient that the alien ship in Independence Day has got a USB slot, but actually, or the equivalent thereof. But it did occur to me, if we're going to be getting out on foot, we're really into speculation town here, but suppose there's a Thargoid mothership and we're going to get out on foot to do something, we're kind of going to have to dock with the Thargoid mothership, which is a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, why would it have landing pads? Why would it have gravity?
Why can't we just land on it? Even
Why
better,
would it not be just like a big ball that something could land on the outside of and then
It would still
and
sort
then
of
get
need
in?
gravity. Do you know what I mean? You kind of need that
And
whole
and
thing.
remember,
Oh, big enough.
we might be able to modify our suits, so using the engineers to that cutter that the engineer suit uses can be used.
EVA.
Also, what has Sojourner been up to in all of this time? She buggered off a little while ago. Is she going to come back and be like, I know how to get into the motherships. You need one of these vessels, and then you can power your mates on with this vessel, and we'll ship to the center while everyone else is fighting around.
No one's going to be shipping Thargoids, thank you very much.
No, but we'll let's ship. Let's ship some Odyssey commanders over to the full Independence Day style and let them dock that way.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, for all we know, D2 will have worked out the specific signal to open the docking bay doors, Hal.
Well, she knew how to. The ships are there's a lot of organic nature to the ships, and she had to be like physically plugged in, didn't she? According to those logs, there was like they had to do invasive stuff to her, which is why she's so traumatized. It wouldn't surprise me if she comes back and she's been like, "Yeah, I just nabbed one of these scouts, lads. It's all good. Do you want to hop on and we'll go in?"
Yeah, but she's the only one that could do that. So is everybody just going to be hanging around?
We just ride her into the Thargoid.
Are we riding her into the Thargoid? Are we doing that right now?
Yeah.
We might not have any choice in the matter.
Why would we? Here's an alternative to that beautiful solution is a volunteer program, an NPC volunteer program, wherein something new for Aegis to work on. See a CG in the not too distant future where that sort of shit happens, and with people are volunteering to be enter the Matrix into Thargoid ships. I don't know, or Avatar. I think is probably the closest.
Okay, we're gonna.
Avatar's probably closer, yeah.
Alec is bursting to the dot here. So.
You know how they Thargoids suck up escape pods?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose we have to get into an unoccupied escape pod, and then we get sucked into the Thargoid mothership.
So they suck us off, right?
That's the one.
Perfect. Good stuff.
I don't suppose you've seen War of the Worlds with the Tom Cruise version?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. There might be a small, one small problem with or a couple of small problems with your plan. You might get killed.
I see what you're saying.
Or you might get killed.
I know it's on the size of the straw.
I know it's only one thing, but I thought it's that important I should say it twice. So, yeah.
It depends if we're talking Capri Sun or bubble tea. This is the most important question.
I wonder if Imperial people taste different to Thargoids than Federal people. When you think about it, I mean, they feed themselves different things, so they probably have a different flavour.
Everything tastes like pork.
Imperials are going to be like the Wagyu steak of humans, aren't they?
Yeah, if you think about it, they might start going after the Imperials because they taste better.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're back to meat emporiums. So the one thing I do have to ask is, if in the far distant future, if we manage to actually take down a maelstrom, What do you think's going to happen? Will all the systems around there? It's like taking a king off the board. That's it. They've lost that game. All those game pieces go. Or do you think that you take out the Maelstrom, you've still got the rest of those systems to get rid of or clear?
Question. I would imagine that the attacks would stop, but the systems would remain. Would need repair and recovery.
Yeah, like a rebuild of the systems for sure.
But I really hope if we can take down this supposed mothership, for example, I really hope it remains as a derelict that you can just go and sightsee. Be awesome.
Maybe one will, I reckon. If they let's say hypothetically, this isn't something where we've got 8 and those are the only 8 that we're getting, and there's not going to be any other Maelstroms trying their luck in the future, which would kind of be a shame to make it like this, despite being like maybe a few years long event, just a one-time event. But these things do happen in video games, I've been told. It would be nice to have just like one weird looking new thing that Dev and the art team have worked on for so long, just still to wander around. A bit like the Thargoid sites.
Yeah.
Like we can still wander around them as they still have some interactivity. Just maybe something like that would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering whether or not if we ever do take out a Maelstrom, as soon as we take one out, a new Stargoid heading to exactly the same point emerges 3 months distant. So it all starts again. Or do you think that's too much?
Ultimately, it can't be. You can't keep it going forever.
Yeah, it's really tricky. That's one of my big takeaways from that forum thread. Actually, was that a lot of people had this long-term issue that if it's going to go forever, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really tricky one to balance.
It's fun just now, but eventually we need peace.
Well, it's not just that we need like a satisfying conclusion.
Yes, even more so.
Yeah, because that's the main issue with XCOM games and the Battlestar Galactica games, is because you've got no way to actually end the scenario, if you see what I mean. The Cylons or the aliens, they keep on coming from an unknown source, and it's only when plot happens that you're able to stop it at source. The problem is, otherwise you're just constantly on the defensive, and you begin to lose, and people lose motivation to keep going.
When Elite becomes like a job, people stop playing Elite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly. So they've got to kind of get that balance, haven't they? Which is,
don't get me wrong though. How long's the war been going on now? What, 3-4 months?
3 months. 3 months, and we're still enjoying it.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I know I personally am, but
the issue is that sentence ends with a but. There is no there's no escaping I want to know how this is going to end in the long term.
Yeah, very much so. Ben?
I'm just thinking, I mean, the only way you actually ever win a war is by making them your friends.
I hate to point this out. That's not how the Second World War ended.
I'm sorry, but are we actually friendly with Germany and Japan now?
Yeah, but that's not how.
The whole point. I mean, I don't want to get into historical things, but the entire kicking off point about World War II was because America, Britain, and the Allies came along and said, "Oh, fuck you, Germany! We're going to shaft you over for the next 30 years," and then they got a little bit pissed off. This little bloke called Hitler got a bit miffed at us, and things happened.
Yeah, if we're going to go back to the Treaty of Versailles, the one person who said that you had to be careful about that was Churchill.
Yeah.
Yeah. and everyone ignored him. But you know,
But so the ending of World War II was a lot more. I don't want to say cordial, but something like that. And we are friendly with.
no, it took a long.
It did take a long time. A lot of work was done.
Yeah, let's just say immediately at the
and-
end of the Second World War, we were still not friends. Put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Right. Anyways,
Well,
quickly onto Psyche. Oh yeah,
Okay,
quickly
onto
finish
Psyche,
off.
then bounce back to me.
Well, literally on that, we this isn't the first Thargoid War in like Elite Dangerous Lore. This isn't the first Thargoid War, so we know how it ended last time.
Yes,
we know how it ended. So is that the way that it's? Well, yeah. Is that the way it's going to end again, or is there an alternative? Is there a peace alternative that I've seen quite a lot of commanders being advocate for? Is that something that is being considered, or is some random NPC maybe called Jameson? We don't know, but are they going to be someone who flies in somewhere with a mycoid virus and releases it into a mothership?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. I mean, we're facing 8 maelstroms at the moment. The speculation is that they were only facing 1.
Mm-hmm.
So
we need Jameson's 8 great grandchildren to come into it instead. Then do you know what I mean? Though it's difficult. It's difficult to quantify it with humans who at least have a common language. Common language and related to that. Let's just talk about what happened previously and what the previous information we have.
Yeah. Well, what we'll quickly do.
The whole reason why I want us to basically end up in friends, though, is because then we end up with a situation where we can have, if not actively hostile Thargoids or Stargoids flying around, we can maintain the assets in game. We can fly up. We could say hello. We can maybe even dock, and essentially, you'd have Stargoids as a base that you can go and dock at and walk around, just like we can any Coriolis.
Yeah,
potentially.
Well, that's kind of what I mean by the idea of the defeated Maelstrom. That I kind of hope they'll just be there as things we can. I hope it doesn't sort of blow up and disappear. I hope it just comes a derelict that you can.
I think you can have derelict ones, but why can't I don't see if there is ever any chance of peace, it could turn into an asset in game that we could then use.
Yeah.
Ben just wants to fly an interceptor. This is all this.
I thought that's very.
Don't we always?
I mean, I don't know how easy they're going to be to land on Corioluses. That's my one concern. But it feels like it feels like there's definitely grounds for a lot of commanders wanting peace, but we're not, as I say, we're not human to human. We're human to a completely different species that we have not been able to effectively communicate with. The closest we have is Sojourner, who is at the moment fuck knows where. She's still got a score to settle with Salvation, and she's buggering off to do all of that. So fingers crossed, whenever we hear from her, which I reckon will probably be before the end of April, but we'll have a better idea of the varying angles that we can take potentially.
Well, what I would like to see once this has all been is either resolved peaceably, like Ben wants, or there's a certain section of space that the war will continue. No, the certain outside of the bubble where the war does continue. There are human settlements and there are Thargoids, and there's backwards and forwards, and that's just available for people to join in and keep that bit going. Now, actually, they hinted at this in the original game, where they said that Galcop was safe apart from the Thargoid scouts that came in and attacked you, because of the main fleet, which was still engaged with the main Thargoid battle fleet off camera. So if you can imagine it, while the original elite was happening, that was the first Thargoid war happening off to the side. but we never got involved too deeply into it unless they took over a station, or you saw the Thargoid, which we now know are Thargoid scouts, come in. So I'd like that to be, kind of, excuse the pun, hived off. So that functionality is always there. Yeah,
So
something like that.
So have an area, but again, that kind of comes down to a lot of negotiation as well. Like we have a race currently that we can't negotiate with because they don't have. We don't understand their language because we're on the back foot. We need to make the effort.
But we can always hand wavium that away.
I don't know that would be something that we would be interested. That I say it's not going to be something that we're going to be interested in. Hand wavium is. But I don't know necessarily that it would be something that the narrative team would be interested in exploring. Just going, oh yeah, there's a happy button.
Yeah, the narrative team have to figure out: is this war going to end in humanity is dead and defeated, and then it is a dead game. Humanity wins.
I feel like that's down to us.
And if humanity wins, then do we just get rid of all the Thargoids and there's no Thargoid content ever again, ever? Or at least it's just back to what it was, before, very, very limited.
Well,
or do we have some way to essentially, as you say, negotiate a something, and people who are enjoying their AX stuff can have their push me pull you stuff over there, but that's whatever the hell you want to call it, however it happened.
So what we're looking for in a resolution in that instance is seeing a push me pull you where it feels really organic and equal, like it's kind of like a stalemate that people can just drop into as and when they want. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine.
That's exactly what was happening off camera in the original Elite, because what was happening off camera was effectively it was a complete stalemate. And the Thargoids couldn't beat the humans, or the humans couldn't beat the Thargoids, but they still had to keep on fighting to keep each other at bay, which sounds a bit Warhammer 40k at the moment, war without end. But if there is a war without end at a certain place where players can pop
that'll keep the community happy.
Yeah, okay, because remember there was the dry spell when they stopped doing anti-Xeno attacks. And I think it was for 9 months the anti-Xeno initiative had nothing to do apart from going down to Pleiades. They were people started drifting away from the game at that point. So, yeah. But on that note, I think it's time to draw this discussion to an end because we've got some community corner stuff to talk about, just quickly. First of all, the wonderful vocalists of LCU No Fool Like One has done the Canon Faction Core, which is effectively the Seven Nation Army cover, which is and he's done a music video of it. Now, we would like to show it to you, but we'll get hit with so many copyright strikes. But we can
also
say
value our audience.
Beetlejuice says it's good.
It is good. It's very good. The editing is fantastic.
It's a great video. It just makes your ears bleed.
Well, it's LCU No Fool Like One, so what do you expect? Wear earplugs.
Can I just say, if anyone out there is a bit like me, I actually didn't watch this for a few days because I wasn't sure I could bear to hear the singing again. But seriously, this video is possibly the best Elite Dangerous video this year. It's stunning. It's really well done.
Better than the one that we were talking about last week.
Well, that was very short, and it's a very different kind of thing. But there's so many good elements to this. People should watch it. It's really good.
Okay. Well, if you if you've got earplugs or if you have tolerance for bad singing, which I do not, unfortunately, then we would recommend this to you. However, next up we have the High Wake returning, showing people the pain that goes through when you cannot make up your mind about what colour your sidewind is going to be. I must have loved this.
Yeah, I did. You know how there's like, I don't know if anyone else gets this, but there's people out there in the world who you just assume they never swear because what they do is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the end of this video was like, oh, so it sort of took me back a bit. It was really funny, but it was somehow unexpected.
Yeah, the Dow Scotsman has said the painter's eyes twitching when someone changes
Has anyone watched
his
it with
mind again.
subtitles? Has anyone watched it with subtitles on?
No.
Oh, I haven't.
There's an extra little joke right at the end that's quite funny.
Oh, right now I've got to watch it again now. It's funny that because Microsoft did exactly the same kind of joke in one of their adverts, which is, well, without the swearing, but yeah, only it was computers painting a proper car who instead of just one poor sod with a roll of paint. But yeah, weird, but thoroughly enjoyable High Wake as always. Right, we'd just like to say thank you to a couple of people who wished us happy birthday on the forums. So those Nemo Men, Nagari Necessi Est, which I think is Latin, which I've absolutely murdered. Yeah, everybody make sure your glasses are charged for this. Yeah, we've got Commander Card Sun, Turkarov, our favourite fuel rat. We've got Amiga Cook, Mac OS, and of course Rubbernook, him of Power Play fame, all who gave us some very nice comments in the forum thread. Thank you very much. Just to let other people know that the AXI are trying to clear the systems of Lahana, Zananga, HIP 2422 today, and Operation IDA are also working on HIP 2422. If you'd like to pop over and help them out, mind you, I would like it if people would help out the GE system as well, but we'll have to wait and see. And Astarian, him of the anti-Xeno guide, has added a new video called Anti-Xeno Etiquette, which instructs or guides people on how big groups can coordinate better in Thargoid combat zones. And I think we'll put that also into the that link into the show notes. Right. Ben, your mostly clueless thing from earlier, what was it?
Oh, that's what it was. It was if you are needing to go and use your thingamybobble limpet, your clean up my caustic damage limpet, that's the word, isn't it?
Decontamination is the word you're looking for, my love.
Whatever. You say potato. If you're needing to decontaminate, make sure you're targeting nothing, and you can do that by actually targeting nothing, not something that is just invalid to be targeted like a Thargoid Scout. And yes, a decontamination limpet should completely eradicate a Thargoid Scout.
Okay. I seem to be getting a call. Hang on a second. Lave Radio Commander Support. Is the pilot still breathing? You're interested in fighting Thargoids and you need some advice. Yep, we're all about taking down the murdering marigolds here, sir. Right, you need to check you've got the right equipment. Okay, we have a checklist from the Anti-Xeno Initiative. Are you ready? Yeah, Xenoscanner. Good. Field neutralizer? Excellent. You have decon limpets. And military hull armor. Yep. Guardian weapons? Gauss cannon. Nice. It sounds like you've got everything you need to take on the Thargoids. Just one thing. You've only got one Gauss cannon. You can't fit anymore. I thought you could fit up to 6. No, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to offend you, but what do you mean that's all you can fit? You're flying a hauler. Sir, I don't think that's an appropriate ship. Yes, you might have the right equipment, but I wouldn't recommend that. That's all you need to know. Please, sir, don't hang up. Lance, can we cancel 256113's membership? I don't think we'll be hearing from them again. Right. Well, that's him sorted. Right. Any other business? I know there's a little of this before, but as you know, Mrs. Psycho Cow is the artist behind Gorgeous, and they have released their first animated short. So we would recommend that any little commanders out there who are fans of this have a look at this short, because I must admit,
Any
What?
little commanders who are fans of this should watch it. How are they going to be fans of it if they've not watched it? It's brand new.
Okay, it's brand new. Look, yeah, okay,
It's
I've got
getting
that
late, I know, Colin.
one. Thanks for that, Ben. Make me feel really
Sorry,
shy.
sorry,
Yeah, go
I'm
on
sorry.
then. No, you're not. We all know that. Right. Yes. The gore. Now you've gone and thrown me. Seriously. We're going to have to cut all that bit out. Thanks a
Sorry,
lot.
Colin. Sorry.
It looks brilliant, by the way. I was just
It's
jumping into it a
beautiful.
little bit. It looks really nice. I'm going to watch this tomorrow. It looks lovely.
It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. They've done a really good job. It's a new venture from the Gorgeous range that Psycho Cow's lovely wife does. She's done all the art for Gorgeous, and it's just really pretty and cute and adorable, and I like it. I love what they're doing.
Excellent.
It gets the thumbs up from my kids. They both, I was surprised that my little lad actually enjoyed watching it, but even he was, and even he was like, yeah, okay, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's got that wonderful kind of claymation animation feel, which it's nice and soothing and relaxing as well. It's not, it's not sort of, yeah. Anyway, well, moving on from there, I only found this out the other day because everyone's all excited about Star Trek Picard Season 3's on at the moment. So I was just happily scrolling through GOG, and I found that they've put the best Star Trek game on GOG, which is Bridge Commander. Okay, yes, I know there's Bridge Crew as well, but you need a full VR crew to do that. But I didn't know it was on GOG. There's a bit of a retro Lave thing for you.
Is Bridge Commander the one that
we used to do? Yes.
You're in the Federation. No. The non-VR one, that's the one where you're these cadets essentially that are flying around in the spaceship.
That's Starfleet Academy.
Oh, that stuff. Okay, right. So what's Bridge Commander then?
Bridge Commander is set in the Next Generation era, and you start off flying around in a Galaxy-class ship, and you are the captain, and you give orders to your different crewmen, or you can take control of the ship directly, and instead of it flying around like fighters, you feel like you are you're in a massive battleship, because basically that's what these ships are. They're absolutely I almost said gorgeous. It's absolutely a fantastic game, and it's also done by the people who made X-Wing Totally Games.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of the things about this was that it got completely overlooked, even though it got rave reviews. But what happened was they only pressed so many CDs or DVDs with it, so it became a rares collector's item among Star Trek fans. I was able to sell my copy for 30 quid. I only bought it for tenner. But now you can get it from
Oh,
You can from GOG, and I thoroughly recommend it, especially the multiplayer. So yeah. Next up, who would like to talk about Stranded Alien Dawn?
I watched this. I watched the live stream. And I understood none of it, and that means that it was interesting. They've added mods to Stranded. It's a Frontier Foundry release game. It's really fun. It's you're stranded on an alien planet. A bit RimWorld-y, but a bit more micromanagey. It's very fun. I'm not selling it particularly well. It's one of those games where you sit down and start playing it, and then 3 hours have gone by, and you've
only 3 hours. You're not doing it right, love.
And well, I mean, I have so many other things to do. The fact that 3 hours have gone by makes me very sad. But it's a wonderful game. But they just bought out mod support and Steam Workshop support. And they did a stream about it today, and I understood none of it, but it was fascinating.
Is that on the Frontier? Is that on the Frontier Development YouTube, or is it on YouTube, or is it only on Twats?
It's on the Stranded Alien Dawn YouTube.
Right, because I was looking for it on Frontier, trying to find that video.
Yeah, it's not on the Frontier side. It's specifically the Stranded Alien Dawn.
Their manual's wrong. I was like, I saw this and I dove into it. I was like, excellent. Okay, I go there and I can see I'm in the game, and it's like, click here for the mod thing, and then click here for that, and then it's like, okay, you need to go to your local app data, and I'm like, none of my mod stuff is in here. Where's the modding tool? How can I do this?
I don't know. What's the YouTube video?
Well, that's why I started looking at the YouTube, looking for the YouTube video.
Yeah, they might do some. I think they might. Do
I want to build a puppy
as well.
You know,
I think it only came out at like 7 or something.
It was quite late. It wasn't. Yeah, it was quite. It was from sometime in the afternoon, I think, that I got an update in Steam, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting for." And then I was like, "You know what I want? I want a puppy or something like that, that can basically be a passive." Yeah, you know, if you get attacked by insects or something, it can run along and defend you or something like that. So I was thinking, and I think that would be great fun if you could do that. And I've got no idea how I'd even begin, but it'd be really exciting to find out. And then I couldn't find the bloody application, and then I got bored, so I decided to play the game instead.
It is a very good game.
Mm.
Well, in other news, as those of you who might be aware, in real life, F1 starts properly this weekend. So, does this mean we can do something here? Well, psych it.
Fantasy League. So last year I got involved with a fantasy league, and there were only 4 people. There were only 4 teams in the fantasy league for F1, and I was like, you know who really likes F1? A lot of the commanders that I play Elite Dangerous with really enjoy Formula 1. So I've been sat refreshing the fantasy.formula1.com website, refreshing, waiting for it to go live. It went live at 1 o'clock on Monday, and by 4 o'clock on Monday we had a league set up. It is basically it changed since last year, but you can make a team of 5 different Formula 1 drivers, and you can pick 2 teams as well, and you gain points based on those teams. One person you can choose to double up on points as well, and you gain points based on how well those teams and drivers do, and it's a lot of fun. There is a link in the show notes for the league. Create a team, drop it in, give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? It's just pride. It's just your pride that will fall. I'm terrible at it, and I love it. It's great.
I've got a team.
You've got a team?
Yep, I've got a team.
Excellent. Right.
You've got 17 teams so far.
Yeah. Very excited.
I will put that in my link, because you might have another team coming along soon. I know this is just speculation, but it seems to go hand in hand. But is there any chance of a Buckyball Grand Prix this year?
It's under discussion.
Ah, right. Okay, plans are afoot.
Yeah, plans are afoot.
But we don't know if those plans come to fruition. Right, gotcha.
We're just being slow. I'm sure something will come of it.
Right. Well, let's
We're
have
very
a...
fast. We're very fast at flying and driving, but we're very slow at organising. And then it'll all suddenly explode, and there'll be a whole thing.
The problem with that kind of thing is that when people ask if you're doing something or you're planning something, with everything, it takes so much effort to do something and so much coordination, especially with the buckyball stuff. I'm sure you'll agree, Alec. It would take so much coordination over a group of people to agree on shit as well, that it's really tricky.
It sort of takes a moment where somebody just goes, "Oh, for God's sake, let's just do it," and they post a forum thread, and it's just getting to that moment of enthusiasm and to just go, "Oh, for fuck's sake, let's do it," and then it snowballs, and then it's got momentum, and it'll go. So yeah, we're just sort of, there's lots of different race ideas. It just needs a tipping point. We'll get there
soon.
Okay.
TM.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's have a quick go at the shout-outs. Of course, the Dex Island team taking a well-earned break before Season 2. But if you're in the meantime, have a look for them on Spotify, on Audible. If not, there's the dexlegacy.com where you'll find a whole load of bonus materials, etc. And all proceeds go to making Season 2 from any merch that's there. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, go to radio.forthemug.com. Discerning commanders who like a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. And we'll also give some shout outs to other Elite Dangerous podcasts, so you can catch up with old episodes of Flight Assist. There's the Guard Frequency, who do other space games as well. And of course, the cheese-loving Yanks over there on Loose Screws, they will thoroughly enjoy your company if it involves shooting a Thargoid or two. Now, we do not have a Galnet News Digest.
Yes, we do.
Or do we? Oh, we do?
Yes, we
Okay,
do. We do.
Oh, well, in that case, we do have a... would have liked to have known that. We do have a Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejuice, which will be following the show. So thanks to everyone who has chipped in on the Twitch chat, and in-game commanders, Ben, how have we got? Or who have we got, rather?
We've got some Miggles. Oh, and somebody else has just shown up as well. Who's that person? It is possibly just random. Oh, Siberius is here. Okay, yeah, we know him. I wasn't sure if it's because we're at an AX site or just be a random person, but it is somebody we know. So hello, Siberius. And one more time before the end of the show, Commander Elysium, if you want to get ship skin, you need to send me a PM on Twitch. Or get in touch with me on Discord. That works too.
Right.
And
okay.
other than that, there's 4 prizes left. Are we still accepting Spot the Difference entries
Sure.
then?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
There you go. 4 more.
I thought someone else jumped up and down for it as well. I thought I flagged that in the chat, but never mind.
If you did, you didn't flag it well enough and I missed them. Sorry.
Right. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we'll just say special thanks to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have created music for this show. But that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, you can email info@laveradio.com, hit us up at facebook.com/laveradio, tweet us at Lave Radio on Twitter, tweet us at laveradio at spacey.space at Mastodon, or you can join our Discord server at discord.io/laveradio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders like to hang out and chat, and you can find that at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Do get in touch if you've got any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So thanks to Ben.
Good night, Colin.
Thanks to Psychit.
Don't forget to watch your Call Study Daddy on The Mandalorian tomorrow. He said that. It's not. I'm taking words out of his mouth.
Oh, okay.
He is a good father.
He's a daddy.
It's better than the other Star Wars fathers we know of, isn't it? And of course, thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin. It's been an absolute triangle.
Hey, woohoo, you big square.
And I'll just bring this full circle by saying thank you to today's tech specialist, the Chris Mark IV.
You're welcome. You're the only daddy for me.
Just no.
Embrace it, Colin. Embrace it.
Right, moving on. Until next time, Commanders, fly safe. And if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word.
Space can be lonely.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 28th of February 3309. We read the news, so you don't have to. In this week's news, we look at some pretty blue pictures, while we wonder what can possibly be done to stop the Thargoids.
There is a way to stop the Thargoids advancing. There must be. Hiding somewhere in plain sight, there is something we could be doing, something we could be using, some approach to stop the Thargoids' control spreading even more widely through the bubble. But what is that thing? What is that action? The Thargoids have a purpose. They came to the bubble in response to the events in HIP 22460 last year, during which huge quantities of Guardian ancient relics were piled up around a Thargoid surface site. Salvation's attempt to wipe out the Thargoids using the resultant Proteus wave was a complete failure, with the initial blue radiation burst, which temporarily disabled the Thargoids, followed by a second green burst that woke the Thargoids up and disabled human ships. The whole episode seems to have annoyed the Thargoids, possibly because a 200-year-old human megalomaniac attempted to commit genocide upon their species, but it could equally have been a consequence of the memory of the ancient war between Thargoids and Guardians millions of years ago.
The Thargoids are far older than either the Guardians or humanity. They've been travelling round the galaxy planting barnacles which thousands of years later bear meta-alloys as fruit. These meta-alloys provide repairs and sustenance to the nomadic Thargoids, who quite possibly saw the Guardians as a pest in their barnacle fields and may see humanity in a similar light. The odd thing, though, is that there are no barnacles in the bubble. The Thargoids don't like something about humanity badly enough to venture away from their plantations. Do they think we're guardians? What is it that they want from us that'll satisfy them, so they can return home? Do they want to see Azimuth destroyed? Do they want to reconnect with D2, the former human test subject, who could interface with the Thargoid hive mind? Do they want to meet up with the currently missing Fargod cult and discuss the afterlife with them? If only we knew.
We can, in a very small way, recreate the alchemy that happened in HIP 22460. We can convert blue Guardian relics into green unknown relics by plugging them into a Thargoid structure. This change seems to be what gave the Thargoids their power back. Professor Palin and Ram Tar are still collecting these relics, but is there something more direct that we could do with them? Meanwhile, the majority of effort is being directed at fighting off the Thargoids after they have invaded a system. Systems on Thargoid alert, systems that may soon be invaded, appear inscrutable. There is some evidence that destroying the Thargoid logistic ships, the Orthrus interceptors, may help discourage an invasion. But is there something else we could be doing that's more effective?
In a few days, we have new technology arriving. The top 25% of those who've been assisting Aegis in setting up production of the new caustic sink launchers will be given early access to the technology and will be able to venture further into the Thargoid maelstroms, or at least to last a little longer in the caustic fog that envelops whatever Thargoid technology exists within. Many believe that there are huge Thargoid battlecruisers inside those clouds, perhaps something similar to those huge Thargoid surface sites, only not crashed face first into a planet. Caustic sinks won't allow us to take on Thargoid battlecruisers, but they are a first step along the road. We'll need to find ways of clearing the fog, of breaking through the force field that prevents our ships from reaching the centre. We'll need to find ways to either communicate with what we find inside, or, more crudely, we may need to attack it to attempt to drive it off. There's so much we don't yet understand. Without that understanding, our efforts may be misguided, but they're the best that we can currently manage. But we really, really need to come up with some good ideas, and soon.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news, so you don't have to.